Hello and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us tonight for the most chaotic wrestling review show in the multiverse. This is All For
NAWT NAWT. Yes,
Ladies
sir.
and gentlemen, welcome to All for Dot. Before we start, because on Raw and NXT, we would like to take our time to give our deepest condolences to Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. Okay? So, because we had a lot of tributes between both shows, and so we would like to take the time to give them their moment in the All for Naught Fun. Okay? So, first of all, how did you all like Raw?
I thought it was good. I thought both shows were good this week, which surprised me.
Okay.
Yeah, I always am more optimistic when we start the show than I am when we finish the show. It feels like as we
That's
talk
true.
about it, we've talked about this as we talk about the shows. It's like they get worse and worse as we talk about them. But I thought it was decent. I mean, I thought they were both okay. I mean, I thought they were both,
Okay. All right. Now they
above
were
par.
middle of the pack for you, okay?
Middle of the
So,
pack.
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Raw first. It's the Raw Roundup, okay? So, here we go. Raw was on August 28th this week, and we started off with Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn, and your winner was Sami Zayn. How did you all like the match?
I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. I mean, Sami Zayn's
What?
a good wrestler,
No.
and it's fun.
Damian Priest won, did he not?
No.
No, Sami Zayn won.
Sami Zayn won?
Are you sure? Because the way I remembered it was that JD got involved, causing Sammy to lose, and then they said later on, he said you wouldn't have won the match if it wasn't for me getting involved, and
Let
it was
me.
like I didn't ask you to get involved.
Well, let's check the great Googleverse and see. As I
Probably.
thought I
Let me
remember.
see. I thought. Let's see. Monday Night Raw from the 28th.
Yeah. It's never going to find it for the 30th because it was on the 20th. I typed in the 30th on my computer.
Let's see. I'm all the way in October. Let me get back. Let me get on back. Let me get on back.
Get on back. Get back.
Okay, Monday Night Raw. Oh, yeah, Damian Priest defeated Sami Zayn. I don't know why I said Sami Zayn.
No, that's not what I'm looking at.
Okay. So me and you on the same page because
I'm looking at one that says this was a good. Unfortunately for Zayn, hold on, no thanks, real quick. It says unfortunately for Zayn, McDonough interfered and cost him the match. Priest was unhappy about it and shoved the Irishman. This allowed Kevin Owens, but it says winner Sami Zayn. Okay, yeah,
that's the confusing part. It was after the match that he shoved the ref, but then they said that Sammy won, but actually in the cage match it has Damian Priest winning. Okay. Tell you, I've been through 5 websites. I all said Sami Zayn. My eyes said Sami Zayn too, and then all of a sudden now they want to say Damian Priest. You know what? Let me give this man a win after he didn't deserve it. That didn't make no sense. Next
Everybody
was
wanted Sammy to win. That's the problem.
Next was the Miz impression of LA Knight. Listen, I laughed.
Oh, the Miz is so good. I laughed so hard. I love the Miz. He makes me laugh. I thought it was great. On point.
This was probably the best the Miz has been all year.
Yeah, I can see that. But this is classic Miz. He's so good.
The next was the New Day versus the Viking Raiders. The winners were the Viking Raiders. Eric and Ivar with Valhalla.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to have the New Day back. I'm not really sure why they're losing to the Viking Raiders here. I guess it kind of is what it is. I thought it was a good match, though. I enjoyed it. They have good chemistry, the four wrestlers. And like I said, it's great to have
I
New Day
was
back.
I was okay with the New Day losing simply due to the fact that Xavier Woods was taken out outside, and so
Right,
it became a one-on-two situation.
sure. Which makes a little more sense for why the Viking Raiders get the win. So I guess I just don't understand storytelling wise exactly what the end goal is here. Is this a feud between New Day and the Viking Raiders, and where does Drew and Riddle factor into it? Because they seem to factor in somewhere too. So the whole thing is kind of weird.
Listen,
Well,
everything
after
is
he
kind of
got,
weird.
I'd have to spoil something in the future, but I was assuming that this was going to lead to a triple threat because like everybody's going to be mad at each other. But then New Day was like super understanding after the match, and I was like, oh,
Right.
maybe it's not going to be a triple threat.
What were you gonna say, Dolores?
I was saying it's all weird, and then when we get to later on NXT, it got weirder. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, after that, because at the beginning of the show we had a tribute, the 10 bell salute. They did an actual video package for Bray. They also did a video package for Terry Funk later on in the night. After that, we had a match with Chad Gable versus Ludwig Kaiser, and we didn't have a winner. It just everybody got disqualified. It was just everybody got disqualified. Everybody was like, "Ain't nobody gonna win this. It is done."
This Imperium Alpha Academy, Chad Gable, Walter for the Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, Vortex, whatever this is. It seems like creative doesn't know exactly what they want to do. I feel like I've seen Gable versus Kaiser like 3 times. I've seen Gable versus
Hmm.
Gunther twice, and he's already beat him once in disqualification. Are we gonna have another Chad Gable versus Gunther match for the title again? I mean, what exactly is the end goal here? I'm not totally sure. It feels very directionless, and I feel like I'm getting the same match every week. So I'm a little disappointed
We
because
had the Vinci matches too, and we
I like
also
both
had the stuff with
teams.
Otis. Yeah,
Yeah, I like both teams, but it feels like it's just where are we going and what's the whole ultimate end goal? Especially if Gable isn't gonna win the belt, then I guess I'm not totally sure what we're doing. But I guess it is what it
I
is.
mean,
You
would
gotta
they
have someone
really?
for Gunther to beat on his way to 1,000 days. I
Yeah.
continue to beat on his way to 1,000 days. I guess I don't.
Would they? It's beating Honky Tonk's record, and so the match is 4 days before him beating the record.
Oh, that's right. It's not 1,000 days. That's Roman's record. That's right. It's a
Hmm.
honky tonk record, right?
The
Uh,
next two things went together, so we'll get into those. I'll read those back to back. Seth Rollins came to the ring to talk about his upcoming match with Shinsuke Nakamura at Payback, but he also paid tribute to Bray Wyatt. Then a video package played by the artist he calls himself, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the visionary Seth Rollins was still in the ring when Nakamura came up behind him and kicked his head off. Okay. I was
I
like, I was, I went from like, oh my God, to like sad because he was talking about Bray to like, oh, you just got your block knocked.
roller coaster of emotions. Uh, I was left being like, man, I miss the artist collective of Cesaro, Shinsuke, and Sami Zayn.
I like Shinsuke, and I'm going to say a controversial thing. I think these last couple weeks, even though I thought I told him that it was his back and I knew it hurt, was kind of anticlimactic. Just the part about the secret he knew, but him himself, I think this is the most. This is the Shinsuke I've liked the best so far, just in the past couple weeks. I like this Shinsuke a lot. This kind of mysterious, kind of darker Shinsuke, a little bit darker side, seems to be a little bit more serious. And I love that he's going after Seth Rollins. I love that he came in and kicked him in the head. I'm all for it. I'm all for kind of the mysterious Shinsuke.
But unfortunately, I still don't think that they're gonna. put the world title on him.
Yeah, I don't know. Time will tell. I sure hope so. We can hope still.
Um, like,
We had yeah, go Sammy.
well, I was gonna say, did Inoki ever hold the WWF championship?
I don't know. But New Japan put a belt on Kingston, so WWE can put a belt on Shinsuke. Let's go.
Yes. Uh Bronson Reed versus Tommaso Ciampa. The winner, Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso, I love you. I can't wait for this DIY reunion. But the fact that they have you going around putting up stickers talking about you looking for your friend when your friend is on the worldwide internet posting his location, I don't know how you do. And y'all have made it clear y'all live down the street from each other. You can't go knock on his door. You in your bathtub putting up posters around your house somehow you looking for him. That don't make no sense to me. But again, what did you all think about this match?
I thought the thing was weird. The whole thing was weird with Ciampa and Gargano. Like you said, I think you hit on all those points. The match I thought was, okay. Um, I Bronson Reed
I
works pretty well with smaller guys, and Ciampa's a really good worker. So I mean, the match itself I thought was okay. But I guess again, what's the point? I feel like there's a lot of directionless stuff going on in WWE at the moment. I don't feel like there's very many good stories at the moment. We have like maybe the Judgment Day, and it's arguable how good that story is, and the Bloodline, and that's really about it as far as really decent storylines or that seem to get any attention. And the rest are just kind of thrown together. And I don't know what Champa and Bronson Reed are really doing together. I mean, I don't. It is what it is, I guess.
I googled it. His title reign is unrecognized, which I thought it was. So WWE has never had an Asian heavyweight
Interesting.
world heavyweight champion. Never
Interesting.
in its
Well,
history.
there's a first time for
Shinsuke
everything.
could be the first. He could be. I just, you, I mean, do you think he's going to beat Seth?
I don't. Here's the thing, like Seth doesn't really need to continue to be champion. He's over and he's been champ a number of times. It would be way more beneficial and way more, it would put Shinsuke way more over. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not behind the scenes. I mean, it seems like if you were going to do it, you would have done it with him already because he's been around for a long enough time that he's had plenty of opportunities. But at the same time, he hasn't had plenty of opportunities as far as shots at the title. I mean, there's been plenty of chances for you to give him opportunities for shots at the title over the 8 or 10 years he's been in WWE. You could have pushed him at any point in time. So to think that they're going to do it now might seem a little crack pipish or dreamish, crack pipe dreams. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I can still hope.
He faced Jinder at SummerSlam and he faced AJ Styles at WrestleMania. To my knowledge, those were his two opportunities that he's
Yeah,
gotten.
right. So yeah, so he
This
hasn't
is
gotten a whole lot
this
of
is his third.
opportunities.
No.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But what do you think of Reed and Ciampa? Anything?
Uh, it was a good match. I mean, honestly, this might have been the butt of the show, and like it wasn't bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Next up was Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. I think of a promo that turned into a fight with Raquel, and everybody scattered. It was like the lights come on and roaches come out, and they were just gone.
Uh,
What
Yeah,
did
I
you
mean, I'm
all
here.
think about this feud setting up?
I'm here for Raquel and Rhea. I think, like I've said before, I think Raquel, just from an aesthetic standpoint, she has the physical
Mhm.
appearance, the size, and the strength to give what looks like a good match to Rhea. I don't know that I don't think she's as good a wrestler as Rhea, and I'm sure Rhea's going to
Oh,
win, but it
uh,
feels like,
well, I think
probably,
Raquel could win. They're really trying to sell her as being a contender,
yeah,
and to WWE is very much about the aesthetics.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I, you know, I did think it was kind of interesting. Clearly, Rhea is the the head of Judgment Day. She's the one keeping Finn and Priest in line, and that they had the promo where she was like, "You two are gonna get in line. We're gonna have a fucking meeting next week, and we're gonna decide what's going on, and if not, we're going our own way." So like, she's clearly calling the shots around there, which I guess it is what it is. I mean, she's mommy, so it is what it is. I don't, I'll be interested to see. Like, I'm not necessarily here. I'm here for Judgment Day being like on top and holding all the gold. I'm not necessarily here for inner fighting and all that kind of like he said, she said, and I'm tired of this. Why'd you do that? So I don't know. It feels kind of some of it feels kind of teenage angstish a little bit, which I'm not really into. But we'll see. I guess we'll have to see what ends up happening. But
Ladies and gentlemen, the last match on Raw. Becky Lynch versus Zoe Stark. And our girl, Becky Lynch won. We're one step closer to the end of this. Okay? So what did you all think of the match?
I thought it was probably match of the night myself. But
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yeah,
Like I think it's the best Zoe Stark match ever.
I think that's fair to say for sure. I think that's fair to say. I mean, it was a false count anywhere match. Is that right? So obviously by default, that's no disqualification. And Trish was involved all over the place, which I'm kind of tired of seeing. But I like Zoe Stark. I don't have a problem with Zoe Stark, and Becky Lynch is a really good wrestler. And I thought, yeah, like you said, this is probably Zoe's best match, and Becky looked really good. And the women got the main event of Raw, and I thought it came off really well, and probably the best match of the night. So you can't really complain from the women's standpoint. I don't think. I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to let you know that after NXT, we will be doing a preview of the matches list so far for Payback. Okay?
Payback. The
Won't be
big
making any
payback.
predictions until probably Friday or Saturday, Friday evening or Saturday, because as we all know, WWE and all the promotions like to do last minute little slide ins. Maybe somebody gets hurt. You never know. So,
Well, the pay-per-view is on Saturday, so we should probably do it before the pay-per-view starts.
Yeah.
yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the NXT part of our section, the NXT rundown. Okay, you ready to run this down? What did you think of the show beforehand? Like before we start talking about it, what do you think about
I thought it was decent. I thought it was okay. Front of the mid of the pack, front of the mid pack. How's that? I thought it was okay.
it?
I didn't think it was, it wasn't an A show. If we're grading it, A through F, it was probably. I thought it was a B show. I thought it was a solid B show.
Okay.
I felt like the people who I usually dislike watching actually did pretty well this week.
Okay. We started out with the steel cage match. The Creed brothers versus the Dyad with Schism. And the winner, the Creed brothers. Again, I don't understand why we doing this. Also, Ava left them. So are they just broken up as a group? Or what's going on?
I
Yeah, I think the dyad is dead.
Yeah, I think that's the impression. I thought, I mean, I guess you have to do this now because I'm not totally sure what they tried to do with the Creed brothers, right? They lost and had to leave NXT or leave WWE, and then they came back a week later sitting on the beach acting like beach bums, which was way out of character for them. And then they came back and did some weird shit, and then they all of a sudden had another match to come back to NXT. So I don't know like where the disconnect was. I think they seemed to have plans for them at some point, and then I don't know what happened, but I thought this was a really good match. I thought Brutus looked really cool when he ripped the cage door off. I thought that came across really cool. And I thought the Creeds looked like the Creeds should. They went in and they handled business. They looked like two badasses. I want more for the grizzled young veterans because I think they're better than that. But I thought the steel cage match was really solid. I mean, and if the Creeds are going to do something, I guess they're back in NXT now. So I guess it is what it is, and I guess I'm glad for that. So
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. The metaphor was at the top watching the next match, right? So before we get into it, we have some slides, okay? To let you know why this is weird, okay? We had in Block A, Axiom, Tyler Bate, Butch, and Charlie Dempsey, okay? And then in Block B, you have Duke Hudson, Joe Coffey, Akira Tozawa, and Nathan Frazier. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to be frank with you. Nathan Frazier is from Jersey. You look that up and see if you can find a clear flag. They must not love the way they fell around because I had to find through the depths of I don't know what. I had to dig down to the bottom of the 20th page to find a clear view of this. All of them had holes and were beat up, and I was like, I didn't want to do that to the people. I want them to be clear and cute, okay? So, for our NXT round down. Okay, so for the Global Heritage Cup, we had Butch versus Charlie Dempsey, who was accompanied by Drew Gulak and Damon Kemp. And your winner, Butch, who just like G1 earned points, 2 points to Butch.
Yeah, I like this match. I like both Butch and Charlie Dempsey. I'm a big Pete Dunne fan, so I'm always here for that. And I like Charlie Dempsey. I think he looks like he's got a bright future. Good technical wrestler. I thought this was a good match. I like the British round style matches, so I'm here for this. And I like the Heritage Cup stuff. I think Noam Dar's hysterical. I'm not a big Metaphor fan, but I do like Noam Dar. So yeah, I thought this was a good opening round match.
I don't know how to feel about the 2 blocks of 4. Like,
Yeah,
because I'm used to the New Japan format to where like a block is 28 matches, and
right.
instead they were like, nah, that's way too much. If we do it this way, the entire tournament's 13 matches, I believe.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, sure. I didn't
So,
do the math, but yeah.
I
so like,
mean,
I
they don't
get it.
have
They
a
don't want to dedicate that many matches to these fellas.
Right.
plus they're starting the matches now, which okay, that's cool. But you gotta make it to Saturday. Like the end of the month. You have to make it to the end of the month. Like you don't never know who's gonna get injured, where do you need to change around. So it's just better. Whereas G1 you got like 28 people, somebody get hurt, you still got 50 other people who are waiting in the rings. You got somebody get hurt at NXT, you like, these are good people. I don't got nobody left.
There's that.
So next, ladies and gentlemen, Fallon, Fallon Henley convinced Miles Bourne to team up with Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen against Gulak and Dempsey and Damon Kemp. Listen, uh, I'm tired of women just coming in flirting and then getting them to do stupid stuff.
I was gonna say the same thing.
It's like they flirt and get them to do stupid stuff.
I can't lie though, she did look pretty good. I thought she did look pretty good, but yes, she did come in and smile and bat her eyes, and he was like, "Okay, no problem, sure." Which is yeah,
It's
not
like,
necessarily what I'm here
so
for, but
you
you know.
know NXT? Yeah.
And
Oh, I'll join you then. I was like, no,
and and Miles
no.
Bourne obviously hasn't been paying attention because if he'd been paying attention, he would know that she's a manipulator. So clearly, he's not been paying attention to what goes on in NXT in general.
Oh no,
So
no, no. You know what? You know what? That's not even it. Because I'll give him credit. Maybe he trying to get closer to it. It's the fact that a security guard is now a wrestler, and you think you're not good enough to get on NXT?
yeah, I thought this was probably back of the pack as far as
Yeah.
seconds
Yeah.
and stuff go. Yeah.
Then we had some more craziness. Tyler Bate decided he was gonna challenge Dabba-Kato next week.
Uh,
They went back to
I,
back with the craziness because after that, Ilya had a promo not to call out Carmelo again, but to talk crap to the metaphor and end up getting himself into a match, I think next week with Ora Mensa.
yeah.
Well,
Unnecessary. Just unnecessary.
I took that as that wasn't Ilya's prerogative, but like metaphor was there, and he was just like, "Oh man, these assholes." Okay, I gotta tell them what I think.
Yeah,
But
no, that's
they
how I
get
took it
challenged
too.
by Aura Mensa. Like I was a little sly-eyed, but I had faith in my boy that Trick was gonna do good. Aura Mensa, I have never. I remember before he got there, he was doing good, but once he got to NXT, he is not been doing good. So I don't know what kind of match that's gonna be, and if it's Ilya might give him a good match. But my thing about it is, you just had earlier Carmelo talking about that he wanted to prove himself against Ilya. And instead of setting up that match, you all decided to set up a match with Ormond. Make it make sense. But I did
Make it make
enjoy this part. The Street Profits made a surprise in the back where they congratulated Mello, and they also challenged the family for the title. Listen, I don't know why they challenging the family for the titles and not on mainstream, but we're gonna get what we get. You, but that also makes the connection to the picture because you remember that the picture has Carmelo Trick, the Street Profits, MVP Almost, and Bobby Lashley. So they're connecting the picture together. So I need this to come true. I need my All Black Alliance to come true. Wakanda
All
forever.
Black Alliance.
Wakanda
Uh, yeah, I mean, this falls,
I,
I mean, NXT's been doing this right. They've been bringing in guys from the main roster to pump up NXT, and this is another example of that. I'm glad to see the Street Profits back. I feel like I haven't seen them for a while. Was Bowens hurt or Tez hurt or somebody was hurt? I think for a minute or whatever. But yeah, I'm happy to see him here, and I the family just won the titles, but at the same time, like maybe they'll put them on the Street Profits. I don't know. I'd rather see them wrestling for the
um,
main titles, but at the same time, I mean, I'm okay with it.
they're on SmackDown,
Okay, that's why I
so
don't see
like,
them
yeah.
because I don't
and
ever watch SmackDown.
yeah, they've been wrestling. They've even Dawkins is now wearing a suit.
Ah,
Uh, so, ladies and gentlemen, also while they were back there, fight broke out amongst all the women that led to a match. After this, Von Wagner laid out a challenge to Braun Breaker for a non-disqualification match next week. This what shirt he had on. I put you. I'm a table breaker, a tabler, or whatever. It was. I was like, this is stupid. This is stupid.
yeah,
Isn't Vaughn supposed to be like a free agent? That he can go like Raw, SmackDown, and you choose. This is your choice. Is to stay here and go through therapy sessions and get your butt kicked and fight with Braun Breaker. This is what you choose to do.
yeah. I mean,
That was a super draft pick.
the match may end up being okay because Braun Breaker's become a better worker. As he's been in NXT and whatever. Von Wagner's not very good in the ring, so my expectations aren't great. But it could be an okay match. But the storyline's terrible, and I don't have any interest in it at all. I mean, it doesn't
Listen,
move the needle for me at all.
the Geico caveman ain't got nothing for me. Okay. Later
Barry's
on
one
because
Braun.
yeah,
Right?
later on
Exactly.
because of the fight backstage, we had Dana Brooke and Kalani Jordan versus Electra Lopez and Lola Vice. And the winner is Electra Lopez and Lola Vice. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you have seen it, and I'm gonna hip you to it. Go on Twitter and you go on Kalani Jordan's page. She imitates the infamous poster from Rob Van Dam where he splits between the two chairs and he's holding the weight. Rob
I
Van Dam even comments on it.
I have to check that
It
out.
is first of all, it's beautiful. But the fact that she could do that, I was like, if you are beautiful, you talk very well, you are very athletic, so you can do the move. Why are we sticking you with Dana Brooke? And then Dana Brooke was upset. I'm like, you the loser.
Right? Yeah. I mean, this was probably back of the pack, unfortunately. But I think Vice and Lopez are okay. I mean, they're a decent tag team. I mean, as far as you got to have some on NXT and So I don't have a problem with him per se. But this is right back of the pack. I mean, it was in front of the other whatever that was that we talked about being back of the pack, but not much.
We're gonna go.
Only 5 women can have direction at a time in NXT.
Exactly.
Listen, the champion don't have no direction. It's Tiffany, I'm Tiffany, and then we'll get into like, listen,
Well, I wasn't counting
Dijak,
her in my 5.
listen, she should be if she your champion, she should
She's
be
a champion, but she's not one of the 5 who's getting direction right now on.
because you
Yeah.
can't do nothing with that. You can't do nothing with that. She always have an epiphany. Can't tell you her who she gonna face. Then she be like, then she said something wrong. Then they had her on Raw, but they haven't announced that match between her and Becky. So it's like then I gotta wait another week for that. That don't make no sense. I just find it frustrating. Then I got really frustrated after I had to sit through Dijak and Eddie Throat. Listen, the Crit Walker and the Hunter versus each other is not what I wanted to see. The fake DJ and the fake bounty hunter is not what I wanted to see. Okay, and as we all
I,
know, the fake bounty hunter won Dijak.
I was actually going to praise this because, like, I was expecting this to be shit, and like, it was decent.
So Dijak is really weird, right? Because I really like the guy. I mean, his feud with Keith Lee was great. Like, he's so
Hmm.
good at times, and I don't know where the disconnect is, but I like Dijak. I think he should be on the main roster doing big things. Eddie Thorpe leaves me a little dry. I
Dijak,
don't.
Dijak problem is when he open his mouth, just like most big men, and it's like, let me tell you
So
about. I'm gonna beat you, and I don't want to hear that.
so give him a
And the thing
manager.
is that's not great, but it's better than where it was a year ago.
And give him a manager. Give him a mouthpiece. Let someone talk for him.
Hmm.
But the wrestling, I think for a big guy, he's one of the better big guy wrestlers. He's got a good move set. He's very athletic. He's very agile. Um, yeah,
I
I'm
would
a
put
big
him on. I'd put him in line with like a Damian Priest.
yeah, I'm a big Dijak fan. Yeah, Damian Priest, Lance Archer. He's kind of in that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really like him. Eddie Thorpe, on the other hand, I don't really give a shit about. And they keep trying to push him on NXT, and I don't. I'm not here for Eddie Thorpe. So, but I do like
It's
Dijak.
like,
I'm disappointed that he's wrestling Eddie Thorpe and that he's kind of stuck on NXT. But I guess it is what it is.
I mean, I remember Eddie Thorpe being somebody who I was like, oh, I'm excited to see. And then he came out on NXT, and I was like, what the have they done to you? What have they done to you? You went from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Carl Frederick, to uh, an Indian playing DJ who crip walks out to the ring. What happened? But again, it got a little bit worse, ladies and gentlemen. Umberto went to Angel's home and they agreed that their former grandfather sent them a message that they must stay together and they're gonna return next week. Okay, so you broke them up for one of them to be like, "You're a sucker and you should listen to me," and then turn around the next week after that and be like, "But we had a sign that we should stay together." What was the reason? Tell me what. Listen, I'm gonna clip this. What was the reason? What was the reason? Why do we keep doing it?
And once again, I'm about to praise something because this was total telenovela to me. Just rewriting everything that happened last week. Here we go. We're starting back from where we were 2 weeks ago. We're gonna get along now. Like I just needed someone to kiss someone and someone to slap someone else.
All that's
Uh,
gonna end up being in about 3 days. One of them is gonna punch somebody in the back of the head, and then they're gonna do a promo that says, "Well, my grandfather gave me our grandfather gave us a sign. You got the wrong sign, so I had to hit you in the back of the head." That's how it goes. It always goes that way. That they always get together, and then one of them be like, I should have kept the right decision to leave you on the side of the road." Okay, you left him. You left him. You walked out. You didn't even walk backstage. You walked through the crowd and left him. And then you told him when he caught you backstage, which I don't understand why it took a week for him, this video package of him catching him backstage. Y'all literally, it was 3 hours, not even 3 hours, but it was like an hour and a half to the end of the show when this happened. You could have did a quick backstage segment where you said, "Hey, why did you do this out there?" And he said the same thing. But I had to wait till the following week to see a backstage promo from the week before for you to tell me, "You know what? You're too soft. You're not doing the right thing. You should follow me." And then y'all still get back together. That is a waste of my time. It's not a waste of my time.
Yeah, this is
So Humberto has like the physical aesthetic that WWE likes, but like Angel has the charisma and he does good promos. Humberto, he's not your guy for promos, but
right.
Angel can deliver on that. So like they are able to make up for the deficits. I mean, if I had to choose one, I'd choose Angel because like in WWE, it's better to have a good talker than it is to have someone who's taller and more muscly.
Hmm.
I mean,
Angel's a good wrestler too.
look at the Miz.
Hmm.
Like when like I can make a lot of comparisons of Angel Garza and the Miz. You know.
Yeah, this whole thing is weird. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where like you watch NXT or you watch Raw and you go, oh, that show wasn't that bad, and then like I said, we get here, we talk about it, and you go, oh shit, this was worse than I thought it was. Like I forgot about the segment to a certain extent. It's not that it's terrible. It's just why. I mean, I'm not totally sure what the whole goal is, what the purpose is, what the storyline is. So they're back together, and for what? Now they're going to try to compete for the tag team championships. I mean, what are they going to do now that they're back together? And so I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see, but it's weird.
I mean, for me, it made me laugh because like I was viewing it as if it was like some sort of telenovela.
Right, sure.
Before the next match, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make a slight observation that we had, it's an invitational, Heritage Cup invitation from around the world. But you do have multiple different people. But why does Bush and Tyler Bate, same country, same country? One of them, you could switch somebody out for that. And also Charlie Dempsey, I did not know you were from the US. I thought because we had been learning from NXT UK and everywhere else that you were like your father, you homegrown British boy. Did not know that. Okay? The next block, they mixed them together. The first block, they were like, yeah, we just gonna put these two together. Ain't nobody gonna notice. The same flag, same everything. It's gonna go. Because I noticed it only because I stopped it to make sure I had the correct flag. That it went by
Right.
so fast that if you watch it, you would have never known. This invitational is not as mixed with like different cultures as we thought it
Right.
was.
Sure.
But on to the next match, the Global Heritage Invitational. Nathan Frazier versus Joe Coffey with Gallus, and your winner, Joe Coffey, now with count them, 2 points.
This was the weirdest match to me. Like I thought the match was okay, but I don't understand why Joe Coffey won here. Nathan Fraser already had the Heritage Cup. We know he's a great British rounds wrestler. I mean, I don't. It seems really weird to me. This seemed like a natural spot for Nathan Fraser to win, and I thought he would be the one coming out of this tournament probably to battle Noam Dar. So I don't know. I was a little surprised by this. I like Joe Coffey, and I'm a huge Gallus fan, but I'm not totally sure I understand the mindset behind Joe Coffey getting the win here.
So I googled it. Pro Wrestling Fandom has Charlie Dempsey, aka Joe Bailey, aka Bailey Matthews, as birthplace Blackpool, Lancashire, England. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because in NXT UK, that's what they labeled him as. And that's why he was like a hometown guy. And now, all of a sudden, when the flag for America came up behind him, I was like, wait a minute, that don't, that don't look right.
Interesting.
But, ladies and gentlemen, after that match, we had Dirty Dom. And that came from later earlier in the evening when Dragon Lee and Mustafa Ali was like, you had your turn. It's my shot now. Move. out of the way, okay? And then Dominic and Rhea are standing there, and Rhea whispers to him, and Dom says, "Oh yeah, great idea, mommy. You know what? I'm gonna be the special guest referee for Dragon Lee and Mustafa Ali, and
Yep.
the winner is gonna fight me at No Mercy."
Like, because like Dempsey's father, like
Sammy is still stuck on that.
I'm trying to make sense of this. Like, why do they have him as being from the U.S. now?
I don't know because it's WWE.
It,
They're like, "You live here now. Now you one of us."
Why did they make fucking Yokozuna Asian?
but like,
Marmero was
when
black.
you are a second generation wrestler, like lean into it. Like,
Why was Kofi
I'm so
Jamaican?
confused. Like,
Uh,
there's such a story they could tell with him because of who his dad is and NXT.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
why are we
We've talked about this before. Like I don't have any idea what the rhyme or reason is between why they want to acknowledge some people as being legacies and others as not. It's like it's okay to say some people are some people. Like no one ever debated. It was always fine to say Charlotte Flair was Ric Flair's daughter, but like nobody knew why you. I mean, because you look at him and it's not a hidden secret. But like, why are you calling Braun Breaker and not just making him a Steiner? Are you trying to pretend like he's not Rick Steiner's son? Like, I mean, it's dumb shit like that. They do that kind of stuff all the time where they don't. And so this is just another one of their stupid whatever they did. It's like Apollo Crews being a fucking Nigerian, king or whatever. Right? Fuck. Kofi being Jamaican. I don't know. It just seems WWE does this shit all the time.
like? I feel like Dempsey should eventually be NXT World Champion.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I'll
definitely
say it
good enough.
here. Well, I mean, he should be. He's got the genetics.
Yeah, talent wise, I mean, and yeah, talent wise, he's good. I mean, yeah,
That's why I was just, and at first I was like, well, maybe they meant something else. And then when I looked, and I was like, what are we doing here? Why is this like this? Why are we going through this? Like, when you say international, I thought about all the people that you have.
yeah.
I did not think that this would be the bracket, and especially when you yelled out Akira Tozawa, I was like, what the fuck he there for? What is he there for? I don't. What is he there for? What is he is their version of AEW's version of what's his name? They put the baby oil on
Maybe.
the elite friend. He is their
Uh,
version of that.
Brandon Cutler,
Yeah, no, the
No,
other one,
Nakazawa.
Nakazawa. He is their version of Nakazawa on NXT because all he do is come and lose, and he's like, "I can do it." No, you can't. No, you can't. Every time. No, you can't. Why you keep doing this? Why
Which
you
is
doing this to me?
unfortunate for both Nakazawa and Tozawa because I like them both and I think they're both good wrestlers too.
yeah,
It's
Akira is a
unfortunate.
good wrestler. Like,
Yeah,
and also like he was like a heavy wrestler back in the day, and to have seen him like cut all that weight,
yeah,
like I think he's a very impressive guy.
yeah, yeah. Well, we were talking about Mustafa and whatchamacallit. Oh, and Dominic Mysterio. Dragon Lee. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's smart for Dominic Mysterio to interject himself into the match so that he can try to pick who I think he thinks he can beat. Uh, I kind of think this Mustafa Ali's moment. I have a feeling he's going to win the match, and then I think he's going to beat Dom for the title. But that's my hope. We'll see what happens.
The next and final match we had for the NXT was the number one contender match. Roxanne Perez versus Blair Davenport versus VP Dolan versus Kiana James. And before I scream, guess
Yeah,
who won?
this match actively pissed me off.
It did. When Kiana James won, I was like, what in the entire thing are we doing? What are
What
we
the fuck
doing?
are we
What are we
doing?
doing?
Like,
I'd rather see Nikita lying out there than I would her when. I mean, listen, I understand she is part of my people, but that means I have to lie to myself. She should be out there.
I don't necessarily have a problem with Kiana James. She's the bottom of this pile of these four wrestlers for sure.
Yeah.
And I think she's definitely, Gigi Dolan's a ways above her, and Blair and Roxanne are head and shoulders above her. So this is very weird to me. I mean,
Hmm.
here's the thing, right? The thing is that we know that Tiffany Stratton needs a lot more work, and she's probably not ready really for a what I would call an intense championship match with a really good wrestler yet, i.e., Roxanne Perez or Blair Davenport. So let's put it with Kiana James where she can beat her and still look okay because she's our
Yeah.
champion. That's my only thought
Here's the
around it.
thing: is I was sure that Tiffany Stratton was losing the title until Kiana James won, and now I'm
Exactly,
like, oh, well,
exactly.
Tiffany's winning.
100%. That's the only way that they can get away with having Tiffany win, I think, here is by having Kiana James be the. But it's not reasonable that she won out of this fatal four way. So I don't know. Not very good booking, Mr. Higginbottom.
Like, if it was Gigi Dolan, I could see Tiffany getting lucky against Gigi and pulling out the win.
Right.
But yeah, against Blair and Roxanne, it'd flabbergast me to have Tiffany go over either of them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I think they want to keep the belt on Tiffany still.
yeah. And again, that will be culminating at the end of the month on the 30th at 8 p.m. for NXT No Mercy. Again, we want to go over it. That you we're talking about this next week, and we'll continue to go over the brackets. Again, in Group A, you have Tyler Bate representing England, Butch representing England, Charlie Dempsey representing the United States, and Axiom
England.
representing
From
Spain.
right via England, representing the US via England.
He's like, I got something here, so I'm here. Okay. And Axiom representing Spain. And then in Group B, you have Joe Coffey representing Scotland, Duke Hudson representing Australia, Nathan Frazier representing Jersey in the Channel Islands, and Akira Tozawa representing Japan. Now,
Minus
ladies
Duke
and
Hudson,
gentlemen,
that's a pretty good. I mean, that's not a bad field. I mean, I like it. It's a good tournament field. Minus Duke Hudson.
I know what you're here for. I know what you're here for. As soon as you saw that thumbnail, the
Preview.
payback preview, okay? You're here for the payback preview because we're gonna be watching it. It is at 8 p.m. Listen, there's a pre-show, but they ain't talking about nothing. 8 p.m. We'll be watching it here along with Collision on Saturday. Okay, we'll talk about the other pay-per-view on Sunday in a minute. Okay, but we're not making any predictions. We're just gonna go over. Do you think the match is gonna be good, or you think the match is gonna be okay? For the WWE Raw Tag Team and SmackDown Tag Team title belt, it's a Steel City street fight. You have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the champion, versus the Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Do you think this match is gonna be good or okay or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this match. I think it's going to be fun. I do think you're going to see a lot of fallout between Priest and Balor here. I think they're going to have a hard time coexisting, but it should be a fun match.
Oh, JD's getting involved.
Yeah,
I don't know
no
if it'll
doubt.
get him to win, but JD for sure is getting involved.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We have The Miz versus LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, on paper, this is my match of the night. These are two of my favorite guys in WWE. It's not going to be match of the night probably when it's all said and done, but on paper, just looking at this match, I'm very excited. I couldn't be happier for these two together. I think this is a perfect combination for both of these guys.
You know what? Because I'm weird and I have seen this match listed 9,000 times, but in my head, all I hear is, yeah, I'm awesome.
They'd be a great fucking tag team, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
The next match is for the WWE United States title. It is Rey Mysterio, the champion, versus Austin Theory, the former champion. Do you think this is gonna be or is it gonna be good, or head, middle, back of the pack?
Let me just say that if that asshole beats my boy, Austin Theory, I'm not gonna talk for the rest of the fucking night. I'm gonna be fucking pissed. I
Again.
promise you.
A
Gonna be
town
Again.
down. A town
yes.
down.
Again.
This,
I don't know what they're doing. Like I thought that they were gonna do something with Grayson Waller. I thought that they were gonna do something with LA Knight, and I thought they were gonna do something with Santos. Instead, they give me Mysterio versus Theory rematch, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, why were these other three dudes even involved to begin with? What's
I think isn't Theory not Theory? Isn't Waller still trying to he hasn't been wrestling too much since his injury, so
Yeah.
he's been keeping it
Recovery.
light. So maybe that is it, because even what's her name? Dexter's wife.
Indy Hartwell.
Yeah. Even she has been light since her injury. And they had pretty much similar injuries.
Yeah.
Um Next, I can already tell you this might be the back of my pack. Steel cage match, Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch.
Let
Steel
me just
cage match?
say, this match would be so much better, even though we just saw if it was Becky Lynch versus Billy Stark. But it is not Billy Stark, Zoe Stark. I apologize. That's the other. Billy Stark
I
is the other.
No,
I would have preferred
it would
Billy.
be that.
Well, I prefer Billy, but it'd be better if it was Zoe instead of Trish. But hopefully this is the end of it. Hopefully we get to see Becky kick the shit out of Trish, and Trish goes away again, and Becky moves on to something else.
Well,
I
I
mean,
assume that this leads into Becky versus Rhea for what's the next pay per view after Payback?
I'm
I
not
have to check
too
and see.
sure.
I'm pretty sure there's one before Survivor Series though.
There has to be. There's too
Yeah.
much time.
I know
Mm-hmm.
Fast Lane is one.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That'd probably be it then.
There might be two. I mean, we have one basically every month almost. So
Yeah, I know they've
Well,
been
it's
cutting it, and I'm like, what?
September,
And
October, yeah, and then November will be
yeah, it's
Survivor Series. So
Payback, and then it's Payback is on October the 7th, and then Survivor Series is on the November the 25th.
okay.
And then after that, we have for the WWE Women's World Title, Rhea Ripley, the champ, versus Raquel Rodriguez.
I hope this is a good match. I really want Rhea to have at some point a good feud and a decent, really, a really good match and a good feud. I don't know that this is it, but Raquel has all the skills and ability to give it to her. So we just have to see. I think it could be really good.
I understand that they really like Raquel,
Yes,
but
I love you.
don't I don't think she's going to beat Rhea, but she could because they really like her.
Yeah.
Okay, last match. World Heavyweight Title match: Seth Rollins, the champion, versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Who do you think will win?
I'm putting it out there because I really want it to happen. I want Shinsuke to win. I really, really do. I really, really,
Oh,
really, really do.
oh, I would love for Shinsuke to win. I don't think he's gonna, but I would love for him to. Like
I'm gonna try to
Shin's one of
manifest
my
it. So
boys.
I'm picking it anywhere I can to try to manifest it. So
Ah,
So you might change your mind after Friday. You might feel a different way. But
that's
ladies
true.
and gentlemen, this is the end of the show. This is the song that doesn't. Let me stop, because they like to hit us with weird stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, you are here with us at 11:30. Let me take this banner down for you. Here at 11:30, um, Tuesdays. All Seeing Stars will be now twice a month. and starting September the 9th and then the 23rd. Then we have Tuesday night. Every night is the cookout. YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Also, Seeing Stars is now on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Okay. Uh, that's also the same for Seeing Stars, Off or Not, and Under the Radar. Okay. Wednesdays is we're here for Off or Not. Thursdays is Aftermath of Dynamite. Thursdays is excuse me. Thursdays Aftermath of Dynamite. Fridays is Friday Night Fights, where we start off with SmackDown with Anika and Sammy, and then CM or ALW will come in on Fridays nights for the Rampage. Saturday morning is Under the Radar. Saturday night is Collision. This Saturday we also doing Collision, and we got the big payback. Okay, the big
Big
payback. Yeah,
payback.
yeah. And then on Sunday is Off or Not. Yep, they screwed us another Sunday. So ladies and gentlemen, be here for those things. Again, we want to send our condolences to Terry Funk and Wyndham Rotunda, aka Bray Wyatt. And so we would like to tell you thank you for coming. We're going to cut out the lights and we will play our instead of playing our outro, we'll play our video we made for Terry and Bray. Okay. Peace.